Hi, and welcome to British Dad Reacts. This is the last day of my punk week. So if you haven't seen any of the others, then please check them out. Leave a like, subscribe, or a comment. There's a mixed group in there of bands you may not have heard of, some you may not have heard of for a long time. Now, I guess the definitive punk rock band were always regarded as the Sex Pistols, and they really kind of got things going. But I wanted to finish this week of punk with The Clash, because I think they, for me, were the band that really kind of epitomized it and continued beyond that sort of punk period into the post-punk and evolved their styles. And I've covered The Clash previously in a video when I did a track from the album Sandinista. So you can always check that out as well. But this is Punk Week. The song I want to review is called Garageland. Now, in this video, which is from Munich in 1977, there's Joe Strummer, obviously, as lead singer, Mick Jones on rhythm guitar, Paul Simonon on bass, and there's Topper Hedden playing the drums. I also want to show after this the studio version, just to give people a feel for what the studio version was like compared to the live version. The live version, though, is just terrific, as The Clash always were. The great thing about this, and I think about a lot of the punk gigs, was that it's a really simple kind of set. There's no great lighting or visuals or massive banks of amplifiers or, I don't know, other fancy lighting. This is just pure punk. And the audience just love it. This is what changed the music industry forever. It's a great, great video and a great performance by The Clash, just at their best. This song is the last track on their first album, The Clash, from 1977. And the album, the band came together, they wrote the album, did a tour in about 9 months. It was just incredible. It was like everything was ready to just burst out of this band. And they played with different bands before. And some of the early members had left fairly early on. There was one, the drummer was Terry Chimes, and on the album he's referred to as Tory Crimes. Obviously this band were a band of social commentary and were very anti the Tories and anti-establishment at the time. The other person who was in the band was a guitarist called Keith Levine. And he went on to join Johnny Rotten in Public Image Limited. And I did a review of a Public Image Limited track some time ago. So the song was written as a retort to a piece of journalism made by someone called Charles Murray. He said that they were a garage band and should return to the garage immediately, preferably with the engine running. This was their retort to that. And in the lyrics, they countered his narrative with the lines, "Back in the garage with my bullshit detector. Carbon monoxide, making sure it's effective." And obviously in the chorus, "We're a garage band. We come from Garageland." 2 years later, the journalist recanted on that statement and proclaimed that the Clash were the greatest rock band in the world. There are some other aspects to the lyrics, and I want to come back to that. But first, let's listen to the studio version. So the other thing with the lyrics, as well as the retort to the journalist, was that the Clash had just signed a big deal with a record company. And some people were saying they've sold out And this was the lines about contracts in the offices, groups in the night. Someone just asked me if the group would wear suits. This was them saying, okay, we signed a big record deal, but we're still the Clash. We're still true to our principles and our music.
I don't wanna hear about what the rich are doing. I don't wanna go to where the rich are going. They think they're so clever, they think they're so right, but the truth is only known by gutter snipes. We're a garage band. We come from Garageland.
It's a fantastic track, and one that's probably not their most famous or most often played, and it's very early in their career. This is the album from 1977. The band were only formed in 76. And Mick Jones, who is the rhythm guitarist, was an accomplished guitarist. And in the early days, he actually taught Paul Simonon how to play the bass, at least sufficiently well for the band and for the tracks that they were playing. So, that's the end of Punk Week. I hope you enjoyed listening to the variety of bands. It's not comprehensive, and it couldn't be with just 7 videos. But I wanted to give really a taste of what punk was like and how it felt in the 70s. What it was like going to the gigs, seeing the bands, listening to this music for the first time. It was so new, it was so refreshing, and it spoke to a generation. And the Clash were one of those bands that spoke to the generation the most. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't seen the other videos, then obviously just search for them. Leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, or even a recommendation. I've covered some punk music before. You can search for that. I'll cover punk music in the future. I like to cover a wide variety. But I just wanted to do a little timeline, I guess, of a number of videos together about punk rock in the 1970s and what it was like in the UK at that time. Thank you so much for watching.